Hi, I'm Jay McClellan with the Fortune Bay Expedition team, and this is our Spring Warmup excursion in May of 2022. We explored 4 different areas in 4 days with primitive camping on public state land, and on some days we had extra challenges to help us improve our outdoor skills. We started out in the Sand Lakes Quiet area, which has some beautiful lakefront campsites that we found on our recon trip back in April. This area has many miles of non-motorized trails, and we nearly had the whole place to ourselves. There are lots of geocaches in this area, and most people use a GPS to locate them, but our first challenge was what I call geocache orienteering, i.e. finding them using only a map and compass, no GPS. All of us had been through the Fortune Bay land navigation classes, or an equivalent, so we had experience navigating this way, but it's the kind of skill you have to practice in order to stay proficient. I got the geocache locations off of geocaching.com and then used CalTopo to make some topographic maps showing the cache locations and printed them out so that everyone had a map of the area. We took turns leading the group to the geocache locations, and once we got close to each one, we spread out into a search line to look for it. Some of them were hard to spot, but we were able to find 4 out of 4 geocaches this way, and doing it using a map and compass was a good way to practice our navigation skills, and it was also a lot more fun than having a GPS tell us where to go. We didn't take much from the caches, but we signed each of the logbooks, and we also left some nice items for the next people to find.
Little hello sign is from Amy Gleischen.
Nice. Aside from the challenge of finding geocaches, we mostly just enjoyed the beautiful day and enjoyed the beautiful scenery hiking through these woods. Our next location was in the Wildwood Hills, and our first challenge of the day was just getting to our campsite. The trail was quite pretty, but it was a bit overgrown, and we had to clear a few obstructions along the way. We encountered this uphill muddy spot where our 4-wheel drive Sprinter van just barely made it through. With the slick mud, Tom's 2-wheel drive Sprinter behind us didn't quite make it on its own. This was a chance to try the new winch we put on our front bumper, so we turned our van around and then pulled out the winch rope until only 1 layer of rope was left on the drum. Then we hooked it to Tom's front recovery point and had him put his van in neutral while we winched him through, and then put it in drive for the last little bit. Once we got the vans up the hill, it was time for the Jeeps and pickup trucks behind, and of course they made it look easy. After we set up camp, we set out on our day hike and started with Liz leading us to another geocache. The hike started out with nice weather, but we knew that some rain was heading our way, so we had come prepared. It got pretty dark out as the rain approached, and my GoPro doesn't do as well in low light, so the video quality isn't quite as good in this section. Fortunately, the thunderstorms mostly went south of us, and we just got rained on, so it was a fairly pleasant hike.
Oops, sorry.
Over here. Having fun? Every time you having fun?
Is it trouble?
Yeah. Say hi.
My map was upside down again, guys. Sorry.
I gotta go around again.
Well, the old double diner lay out east of Du Bois in the land of the buffalo. And the auctioneer's gavel, it rapped and it rattled as I watched the double diamond go. Won't you listen to the wind, Mother Nature's violin?
The third day brought us to the Sturgeon River Valley, and we had a group's campsite that wasn't right on the river, but it was just a short walk down to the river. This day we each sort of did our own thing, with some relaxing by the river while others went off and hiked. Liz and I set off on a hike by ourselves, and we started out on this old 2-track that was just barely visible, and eventually we found a much more walkable trail that took us back along the river valley. We found this porcupine in a tree and decided to name him Mr. Pokey Pants. He didn't like being photographed, though. Garrett spent most of the day fishing and brought back some brook trout that he cooked up later in the evening. In the afternoon, we had a backwoods cooking challenge, with each of us making a dish to share using techniques or ingredients that were new to us.
Those sure are nice tomatoes you have there, Liz.
Yes, they are.
I used this portable campfire pizza oven that I made to roast some spiced meat for Halifax donaires, which are an Eastern Canadian version of a hero sandwich. Unfortunately, I didn't get video of the others cooking because I was too busy doing my own. We couldn't just buy pita bread because we like to make things from scratch, so Liz made the dough for her own flatbread and cooked them on the little portable camp stove. The first ones were a bit rough, but eventually she got the hang of it and they came out great. The donaires came out good, as did every other dish that people made, and we all enjoyed it and then just relaxed around the campfire.
I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see.
The last day brought us to the Pigeon River and the Shingle Mill Pathway for one more hike before we headed home. Only 4 of us stayed for the final day's hike, and we kept up a brisk pace while enjoying the scenery of the Pigeon River State Forest. Well, I hope you enjoyed the Fortune Bay Spring Warmup excursion, and we hope you'll join us on our next adventure. Thanks for watching.